I got a new timepiece that I'm picking up. I got a new Rolex that I'm picking up today. Actually, I'm not going to have the capacity to be able to pick it up. This is the first time that I'm not going to be able to stop into my authorized dealer, record the whole transaction, and then go and pick it up. I actually am sending Rita over into my authorized dealer in order to go and pick up the Rolex, right? Let me give you a little bit of insight of what's going on with that. So I got a call over the weekend of one of my grill pieces, one of my Rolexes that I have on order is now available. And so, good relationships. I bought almost every single Rolex that I have from this authorized dealer. She actually sits right next to me on the floor at the Pistons. And so shout out to you, love. I love you. I appreciate you. Really good friend of Rita. Her and Rita go out and they have a good time and they go to lunch and do the stuff that girls do on a regular basis, right? And so Rita is going to pick that up for me because I'm going to be working relentlessly today. So Mondays is always the days that I hit it the most. Wednesdays is when I peak out. Thursdays is when I start to wind down. Fridays, I start to shoot. And Saturdays, I shoot a lot of my interviews and the people that I bring into town in order to give you guys inside of the Patreon as much insight and information as possible, right? But here's the key, though. Here's the thing. You guys see the Miami trips, right? And you see the cars, and you see the first class flights, and you see the lifestyle, and you see the, overlooking the ocean and all of that other type of stuff. But I need y'all to possibly go back and watch some of my earlier videos where I stayed down as long as possible, even after I started really, really getting to the bag and making money, because there's a lesson in that. And it's a reason why I leave all of those videos up. I want you to see the growth as a content creator. I want you to see the growth as an entrepreneur. I want you to see the growth from a professional perspective. I want you to see the growth entirely. And one of the reasons why I live my life like an open book is because it's important for you guys. I see you, Cliff. I'm going to read the super chat shortly. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. It's important for you guys to really catch the lessons in there. And the lesson that I'm trying to emphasize to you today, based off of some of the things that I've seen in Miami this weekend, and I'm always inspired by real life situations in order to have conversations with you on the Millionaire Morning Show. Okay? And here's the lesson, right? As I was in Miami, I told y'all the story about the dude that was possibly getting finessed at the CVS. He had the Rolls Royce Cullinan, right? I told y'all about my lifestyle and I was vlogging and I did Fight Club there and all of that other type of stuff, right? And I ran into some people that was even from Detroit and it was new money, all right? How do I know that there was new money? Because they had told me. They said that they had really just started getting money and getting popping, right? And when you see a lot of these basketball players and stuff like that, and you see them on these podcasts, they throw you hints to let you know what their lifestyle is like now that they're retired. Now that they're retired, you see people that come up on a decent amount of money. They may blow up, and whatever it is that they do, right? Their business may become super successful. They may make it into the league, whatever, right? You may then start to really, really get to the bag now that you implementing some of the stuff that you hear inside of the Patreon, as far as making sure that you're leveraging your background in order to ensure that you're putting other people to work. That videos in the Patreon also. You might have even blown up as a YouTuber. Whatever it is that you become successful at, you're going to have a window of opportunity, and very, very few of us actually leverage that window of opportunity correctly, right? For me, it was very important that I stayed down for an extended period of time, and I'm going to tell you why. But also on top of that, people that are around me often at times say, Anton, why don't you take a break? Or Anton, why don't you slow down? Because now that I have the visibility and platform, and I have basically, I'm at the steering wheel of the car, why would I slow down? This is the time that I now mash my foot on the gas, right? This is the time that I really, really capitalize and implement. And I got all of these marketing things that I'm about to be sharing with the Patreon members that I'm now implementing, physical marketing as well as influencer marketing and all of that type of stuff, right? So why would I slow down? But here's the real thing. Before you spend $1, and this is going to be the hardest thing for people that get new money, it's going to be the hardest lesson that you learn. And before we get into any of these articles or the show of what's going on and who's fumbling the bag and so on and so forth, before you spend $1, And I know you hearing me now, and it's always great in theory, right? Everybody can always say what they would do. Oh man, rich people move in silence. Oh, they could have took that money and not bought a chain and invested it in some property. I did a show on Friday where I asked people, what would you do if you got $1 million clear? Reparations, whatever. And nobody can answer the question. Some people was even honest enough to say, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Some people was even honest enough to say, yo, first 250,000, I would blow that. The other 750, I got to figure out what to do with it. Before you spend $1, a lot of y'all are making more money than you've ever made in your entire life. Some of y'all got 2 jobs. Some of y'all just got in a tech. Some of y'all getting government contracts. Some of y'all are becoming incredibly successful, and you're seeing the type of money that you never seen before. Before you spend $1, do not change your lifestyle. It's 2 things that you have to do. Really, it's 3, but it's 2 in 1. The first thing that you have to do is you cannot upgrade your lifestyle, at least for the first 5 years. You're not hearing me. You're going to get some money and you're going to want to get a new car. You're going to want to take some trips. You're going to want to splurge a little bit. You won't want to go to the Gucci store. You're going to want to say, hey, I deserve my first Rolex. If you go back to my first Rolex that I bought back in like 2016 or 18 or something like that, I was still leery. I was still sitting there like, I don't know. I don't know if it's time for us to start spending the money yet. And Rita was like, Anton, we good. Like we there. We've been saving and stacking and investing and staying down and keeping our expenses low and living for free and all of this other type of stuff. We're there now. If you go back and look at my first Rolex that I bought, my Submariner, I spent like $9,000 on it, cash. My first Submariner. I went out to the suburbs of Chicago. Spirit of moment situation. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should start spending money yet. Because I was so invested in making sure that we was taken care of for the rest of our lives that I didn't really know what that number was. And you're going to be very, very, very tempted to spend some money and upgrade your lifestyle. But there's 3 things that you have to do. The first thing you have to do is do not change your lifestyle for the first 5 years. I'm hitting on this point super hard because it's going to be very, very hard to get it through your thick skull. Do not spend $1 upgrading your lifestyle for the first 5 years. I'm telling you, it's going to go by like that. 5 years don't take that long. It's not long at all. 5 years, please, for 5 years, don't change your lifestyle. The second thing that you have to do is get rid of every piece of consumer debt that you have. Every piece. Don't pay no interest in credit cards. Don't pay no interest in car loans. Get rid of, I know a lot of y'all don't think that the home that you live in is debt, but it is. Because they keep trying to reconfigure how it is that you think about debt so that you can continue to pay the banks and pay off everything that is draining or taking away from what it is that you budget on a monthly basis for your lifestyle. If you look at your monthly budget and you say, okay, I have $3,000 in expenses, but I bring in $6,000 a month. You don't start saying, okay, I got $3,000 in additional monies after taxes in order to be able, and it's a reason for this, and I'm going to break it down for you really quickly, right? If you get rid of the debts first, what you do is you then allow for yourself to have that wiggle room and that capacity to really spend every dollar that you have investing in the things that matter, which then lower your tax burden. Okay, so what do you mean, Anton, by that? That means that the less money that you have to pay taxes on in order to maintain your lifestyle, the more money you have to be able to get rid of to prevent yourself from having to pay as much money in taxes later on. Okay, so Anton, what do you mean? Let's give them a little bit of a conversation of what we talk about inside of the Patreon. The money that you pay taxes on is your adjusted gross income. It's your AGI. Your AGI is a combination of what it is that you make from your business income to what it is that you pay yourself to what it is that you make on your regular job. So when you get a W-2, That goes into your AGI. When you do your business expenses and they say, okay, how much money did you make? The amount of money that you got rid of or expenses on top of whatever it is that you make. Your income minus your expenses, then go into your AGI, right? Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you make, goes into your adjusted gross income, which is the thing that you then pay taxes on. Okay, so Anton, why are you telling me to stay down and get rid of the money and get rid of the debt? Well, if you have to then pay taxes on the money that you make in order to be able to maintain your lifestyle, that means that if you make $100,000 a year, you're in a 22% tax bracket. That means you got to pay taxes on your money way before you give it over into the federal, before you start to spend money on the things that you have to do on a daily basis. Food, clothing, shelter, lifestyle, whatever, right? Now, let's say I don't have any real debt, any consumer debt, anything that I have to spend money on a personal level, not on a business level, but anything that I have to spend money on a personal level. That means I don't have to worry about paying taxes in order to maintain my lifestyle, which also means that I can then allocate all of my monies towards business, which then lowers my adjusted gross income. I'm going to need you to rewind it if you're not catching it. If I don't have to spend money maintaining a lifestyle, I can then allocate all of my monies towards the business side of it. Real estate, investing in my business, right? Whatever it is it takes in order to continue to run up the check and make my business more profitable. That means it increases my net worth at the same time of lowering my tax burden. The goal is to not have a lifestyle first, to then be able to allocate all of your resources into what it is that you do from a business perspective. What that does is two things: increases your net worth, lower your tax burden. That means that the things that everybody else is going to work for every day in order to maintain a lifestyle to impress people that don't care nothing about them, you're not worried about that. You focused on increasing your assets. You focused on increasing your net worth. What does increasing your net worth do? Allow for you to then have real life tax expenses or write-offs that you can then lower that final number that you have to pay taxes on, which is your adjusted gross income. So when I say when you first start getting money, get rid of the lifestyle, get rid of the debt, and then throw everything that you have into investing in yourself. Now, what is investing in yourself? That's a whole nother conversation. You need to get a coaching call. You need to join the Patreon. And then we can get into all of that, right? What is it that you can then invest in order to lower your tax burden? Completely different conversation. But what I'm telling you is that a lot of these people catch their window of opportunity and they let it go. Some of us have a window of opportunity in which we're going to make a lot of money. And it's not guaranteed to be there. It's not guaranteed to last forever. You're not guaranteed to be getting that same bag that you're now adjusting your lifestyle over to. And so before you start spending money, the reason why you need to lay down, chill out, and then make sure that you deploy all of your resources into the thing that's then going to sustain you for the rest of your life, into the assets that then generate the revenue for you, is so that you're not sitting here trying to chase that same thing that you had before. You can comfortably continue to plow forward. You can comfortably continue to build up your assets. You can comfortably continue to maintain your lifestyle after your lifestyle is now providing for you. The biggest mistake that I see people make every single day is they start spending money before their money is actually making money for them. First 5 years, get rid of everything. The first 6 months, the first year, it's going to be difficult. Because all you're doing is looking at the numbers. You're not necessarily looking at anything changing within your lifestyle. And you're going to get tempted because people are going to be like, well, if you're rich, why are you living there? Well, if you're rich, why are you still wearing the same clothes? Well, if you're rich, why are you still driving that little car that's paid for? That ain't worth nothing. Don't worry about them. That's just talking. It's like reading comments on the internet. Don't worry about that shit. Those are just avatars. Those ain't real people. Don't worry about that shit. Don't let the Instagram lifestyle, don't let the pictures, don't let Bali and Dubai and all of that shit, don't let it fool you. The real wealth is in the assets that then generate the revenue that allows for you to be able to maintain your life for the rest of your life. Fuck all of that shit. The minute that you pay off your house, you ain't got no credit card bills, then your asset starts to generate the revenue that then allows for you to be able to maintain a lifestyle. That's when you start spending money. And you still don't start running that bag up yet. You don't splurge, you just relax, chill out, and then you can start spending money as you see fit. And you snowball that shit. You gotta stay focused. It's all up here first before you start spending this. All right. Just giving you a little bit of incentive. I'll go ahead and do a Rolex reveal, right? I'll go ahead and do a Rolex reveal tomorrow after Rita pick up the new Rolex today. It's beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous.